morning, y'all. Good morning. This is video number 4 in VC141. So I'm going to show you our beautiful preliminary testing autorefractor. So this particular instrument is a Topcon, and it reads on the side that it's the RM880 autorefract meter. So this is a very simple machine to operate. It's actually kind of fun. The on-off switch is on the right-hand side on this particular model. Again, right in here. And it's a toggle switch on and off. Once the machine turns into the on position, it brings up this screen. Now, because this is such a large arm, meaning it has this entire group of instruments located on it, sometimes all the power can be turned on with just one particular switch. The lamp can turn on and off here, and we can raise and lower this table. Because remember, we always have to have our patient be extra comfortable if we want to take good results and have them be compliant. So let's look at our autorefractor. So this is a starting point for an eye exam. It's a great screening tool, and a lot of techs are doing it regularly for their doctors to give them a starting point for the eye exam. So let's talk about just setting up the patient. As we said, every machine has some sort of tricky little hidden pretty, oh, look at that racing stripe. No, this here is the indicator, and you notice it's exactly at this level, and that's to let you know if the person's eye is set up for that particular height, so you can get the proper image on this side of your screen. So this is your joystick, and it raises up and down. If you watch the machine, it also raises up and down. So setting up the patient, I can raise or lower the table. I can raise or lower the head of the machine. And if I needed to move the chin rest, I come around the other side, and this knob here raises and lowers the chin rest. So you always need to use an alcohol-based product if you want to clean the surfaces. And usually you do that in front of the patient once you're finished, and then maybe before the patient sits down in their presence. These little clips here are for paper holders, so sometimes doctors have that on, they just rip that paper off. So for our purposes, we always use an alcohol swab, and we clean that off here, 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 and here. I'm really bad with my phone doing videos. But any place that they would touch with their face or their hands is a touch point, and you need to clean that off. It's just good aseptic practice. So have the patient sit down. Oh, I'd also like to mention, you can raise or lower their chair. So there's lots of ways to make someone comfortable. This is a relatively quick test, and what you're going to do is set up your patient here. What you're going to tell them is to look inside the aperture of the machine. Let's see if I can get my camera lined up. Oh my goodness. I was never on the audiovisual crew. There we go. So let me pull it out a little bit so you can just maybe get a good picture of what's down there. Okay, so it's a little bit blurry, and I think it's because I'm doing this with my camera, but you can see it now. Sorry for the delay and the fluctuating clarity. But this is it's a little picket fence inside of a field, and at the end is a little red barn for the person to keep looking at. So you would say, do you see that little red house at the end of that picket fence driveway? And they go, yes. And you'll say, okay, just keep looking right at that. And that's how you keep the patient fixated while you take the picture. So there's little tricks to it. Sometimes someone can see it well. There we go. And sometimes they cannot, but you just say, okay, keep looking ahead if their distance vision is compromised and they cannot see it. If it's a child, you might consider saying, do you see that little red house at the end of the picket fence road? Do you see the little doggy? He's going to come, and they'll say no. And you say, well, keep looking at it. I think he might be shy. See if he comes out. And the child will fixate that on while they're looking for that particular little puppy to come out of the door, which is a total lie, by the way. Nothing happens in there. So as I come around to the other side, you have the image of an eye, and you'll see at the center of this little box a little white dot. So you move it back and you move it in. Again, I don't have a patient today because I'm working alone on campus, but depending on what side I have the machine, it's telling me whether I'm testing the right eye. And if I move the machine back and switch it in, I have now switched, so I'm taking the left eye. So let's go back to the right eye. There will be a little white dot, and once I can raise and lower, move in and move out, the white dot, it's like kind of like a video game from your perspective. Once you get the white dot located into the center of this little white box, you take a measurement. Once you take a measurement, it's recorded in the corner of the screen. You take 3 measurements, and the machine records that. And then you take the left eye, and it records that as well. Once you're finished, you hit this button, which gives you a printout of the results, which is going to give you pupil distance, spherical equivalent of whatever information has been captured, as well as the beginning part of the objective exam. Just a rough idea of, is there any refractive error? Happy writing.